as there's a yellow on the racetrack.
Trouble, another crash. Takuma Sato.
A much bigger hit.
Wow, look at the damage to that car.
And that was a fast race car as well. That's a tough break. It's tough to have a race car crash at the speedway at any time, but when you've been running as well as Takuma has, we see him moving in the cockpit.
AMR safety team already there talking to Takuma. But wow, that is a torn up race car. What a hit.
And so it looks like he lost it there in turn 1, just based on where the damage is. This will be a bit of a lengthier cleanup as you see the safety team having to apply the kitty litter to absorb fluids coming out of the number 75 machine.
Remember I talked yesterday about how the south end, turns 1 and 2, were the tricky spots in last year's 500-mile race, that almost every incident in the race, in a race that had a lot of incidents, happened in turns 1 or 2 at that end of the speedway. And so far today, it has been the tricky spot in this last 30 minutes, with both Kyle Larson and Takuma Sato having incidents at that end of the racetrack.
And it's interesting too, because that often when you see a trend of one end of the track being a little more treacherous than the other, it's often condition based, and that really can revolve around the wind direction and the wind speed. Right now, you know, you look on top of the pylon, that windsock is dead flat. We have again, you kind of mentioned it off the top of the practice. It's about as perfect conditions as you can get here at the speedway. It's a beautiful day to go running, and drivers not being challenged with that sort of thing to manage. Is Takuma taking a second here to get out of the race car.
Well, good to see. Now let's go back and see if we could see what happened to Takuma.
So he's already lost it at this point. So this is the only one we have. You can see the debris further up. So yeah, it looks like he just lost the back of the car in turn 1, made it all the way around. Pretty flat hit on the left side of the race car in the short chute there, and then obviously coming to a rest there in 2. And that's a big hit. Sideways is never a fun way to go into the wall. These cars are really designed more for rear impacts on ovals, but that car looks like it spun around fast enough that he just kind of went in sideways. There's just not as much car to absorb the impact when you go in sideways, not as much crash structure.
And that's the best look we have of it at the moment. But that just had the look that car swapped ends in a hurry on him. It just came around in a snap.
Yeah, it really does look like that. And you know, if you go in kind of square in the back, you don't get that kind of damage. So he went in sort of past a 45-degree angle to the left rear.
And heavily damaged machine, and that's tough for Takuma, for RLL, and boy, car had some speed in it, but a big hit, big damage, and the red flag out again for the second time in short order in our morning session.